Hello, welcome to Mind Your Matters. My name's Amanda Jane. If you're new here, I wanted to speak on the topic that was brought up by Genevieve, and she wanted people to come in and collab with her to help homeschool parents that are seeking to start homeschool, and she wanted us to speak on the topic of you can do it. So I'm here to try to join in on that, and hopefully what I have to say is an encouragement to you. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 kids, and we try to have as much fun as we can while we learn at home. This channel was a desire in my heart to share and to encourage. My family loves homeschooling, and I hope you will too. So, like I said, I am a homeschool mom. I have 4 kids. I have boy, girl, boy, boy, and they are 8, newly 8, 6, 4, and 2. So I've got a lot of littles. I started homeschooling my son after I did not go back to teach in a private Christian school. And he was around 2 years old. Of course, I worked with him when we were just learning, because life is learning, doing puzzles, singing, playing games, and I did just have the one. So I know some of you are probably starting this homeschool journey and you are just jumping right into it. You're taking it by the horns, and it is sometimes pretty scary and difficult. And I feel for you, and I've been there. No, I didn't just dive in from having all of the public school or having a traditional school setting, and my children just came home one day and it's like school's done because of a pandemic or whatever situation you might be going through. I didn't have that, but I did have a deep loss for not being able to teach in the private Christian school. I had sickness after my son was born, and I wasn't doing well with different things. I wasn't healing very well. I had a very difficult delivery with him, we'll say it that way. And it took quite some time to get myself back. My husband and I, we just decided that it was the best at the time to homeschool and not to go back to work and to be with him. I did different jobs, but I was never back fully in the private Christian school that I taught at. Now, a little bit more about me. I was formally educated in a Christian college to be a private Christian school teacher, high school level. I have a degree in history ed and business education, so I love it. I love teaching. I love teaching in a classroom. I love teaching anytime I have an opportunity to teach. I love it. But I did feel that loss of not being able to teach back in that private Christian school. And that did hinder my beginning love of homeschooling, now if that makes sense. Now you're maybe feeling that same thing. Now maybe it's not because you love teaching and you were in the school and things changed, but maybe things changed for you. Maybe you love your job, you love your career, and now you're being called to put your family first, a little bit by force, because schools are not able to do what they were doing because of the time that we live in right now. I want to encourage you. You can do it. Speaking from someone who absolutely loves what traditional education can do and having kids in the classroom and that setting and the learning that can happen, I love it. And I miss it, but God has me in this season right now, and maybe for a little bit longer than I might think, but I'm going to be able to do this, and you can do this too. Now you might be feeling that loss. You might be feeling, this is not where I want to be. This is not what I feel like I can do. I've been there. I've had a big turnaround in the last couple years because we've been homeschooling my youngest, well, my firstborn, and then we've had the other ones. Told you we get the 4, so they've all been added in. I've turned the corner of being so traditionally minded, and don't take that wrong. Let me kind of define that for you. Not trying to have that public school or the traditional classroom, we'll say, setting at home. It has taken me a long time. I know some of the ladies that are in this playlist that Genevieve has put together from the Homeschool YouTubers Facebook page, they are like first, second, third generation, ever since George Washington. They've been homeschooled all the way through. I went to public school growing up. I put myself in Christian college because I was done with that. I wanted to be a teacher and went through all that with God's help. Got a degree, got a diploma, got the education. I said that wrong on purpose, but went all the way through, was able to teach for a couple of years, and then homeschool mom. It has taken me a long time to do the homeschool thing and to figure out what's good for my children and what's good for each one of them, and so on and so forth. All the things that I've been able to learn. You can do it. There are so many different learning styles. Just like you would have different ways you could have a kid in a public school setting or a traditional school setting. They could go to a technical school. They could go to this. They could do Montessori. They could do all these different things. They could go to a private traditional Christian school. They can go to all the different names and all the different things. I'm sure you're familiar. They could go to all that. You can do that at home with your children. You can do it. Let me look at my notes here so don't forget anything, because I could just talk forever. And now's a good time. If you're enjoying this content and you're enjoying this talk, you can go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can become a member of the Mind Your Matters family, and you can see all the videos that we have out on homeschooling. And I also do home life and just other things that pop up, cooking, cleaning, life stuff. So if you're enjoying this and you want to become part of that, you go ahead and join in. It is free, and I love YouTube. I love YouTube, not just because I'm on it. I hope I make YouTube better because I'm on it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy looking up even the ladies that are going to be in this playlist. I'll put the playlist in my description box below, and you'll be able to find them easily in this You Can Do It. So my notes, let's see here. How we make it work. Yeah, a lot was with me. A lot was with me. We have been talking a lot with this pandemic about how kids are so resilient and kids are this and they're just amazing. Yeah, but sometimes what holds everything back is us. I have been so critical of myself, hard on myself, and I think a lot of that comes from my training as being a traditional Christian school teacher, and it's not a bad thing, but it became a bad thing because I was getting too much. Being so hard on myself, not really knowing about the public school land because homeschool land, you got me. I was not trained up in it. I didn't have homeschooling in my background, and the only person that was homeschooled was my husband. So I would compare myself real hard on if I asked him a question, how did mom do it or whatever? And of course, as a kid, you're going through it. You don't necessarily remember every single detail on how things went. He doesn't remember. My husband does not remember how this season went. And it doesn't even matter. Now let me say this, I do take comments and criticisms and things like that to try to benefit myself. Because everything you hear, there's a bit of truth in it. So I try my very best to take that information and to do better. On what I'm at with the homeschooling journey that I'm on. But I cannot sit there and be so hard on myself and compare and try to be exactly like someone else's homeschool. Just saying. That is not good. That is going to be the viper that is going to poison your homeschool. You can do this. I know in the multitude of words, I'm probably saying things that maybe are taken wrong, and I hope that you can understand my heart on this. You can do this. If I can do this, a traditional, trained, private Christian school teacher who has the kids sit in their desks and stand and recite and follow and do and chop, 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 to a homeschool mom with crazies. You can do it. I promise you can do it. So don't be so hard on yourself. Don't compare with others. Do listen and get support and get resources. This playlist is full of amazing ladies, full of amazing people that have helped me and have helped so many others. Get those people around you to cover you in their wings and just to support you and encourage you on your journey of homeschooling. Maybe it started different than mine. Probably. You probably don't have the same story as me, but the end game is the same. You can do it. You can homeschool your children. Get the resources, get the support. Don't compare yourself with others. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace and give your children grace. Be merciful and be kind. So you can do this. You can be a homeschool mom or dad or parent or grandparent. You can do what God has called you to do. And I am thankful for you. I support you. And I hope that you can find some people in this playlist that I will list below to encourage you and to come alongside and to be a help. Thank you so much for joining me. And I pray this was an encouragement. This is a bit impromptu and unscripted, except for my little Post-it note with chicken scratch on it. I did want to join in with Genevieve, who is the admin of the Homeschooling YouTubers Facebook page. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you for allowing us to speak on this topic. And I appreciate you and all that you do for us. And I pray that this collaboration and this playlist and this video was a blessing to you. So thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Do all the things. And we'll see you next time, I hope. Take care. Bye.